What is growth over time average? Well, imagine you're tracking a student's progress over time. You want their most recent work to be the most indicative of their current understanding, but you don't want to completely ignore their earlier efforts. A decaying average, a term used in synergy, helps us do this by giving more weight to the most recent score and gradually decreasing the influence of older scores. It's a powerful tool for fostering a growth mindset, which is why HSD will be using the term growth over time average to describe our course outcome aggregation. In this video, we'll explore the growth over time average, specifically understanding how the underlying aggregation of a 40% decay rate helps us accurately measure students' valuable recent learning and progress towards proficiency in each course outcome. Let's see how it works. For our example today, we're going to look at one of our Physics 1 course outcomes. Students will be able to construct an argument using scientific reasoning and evidence. In this example, a student's first attempt is worth 100% of their course outcome score. Then, as a second attempt comes into the gradebook, the first assessment decays at a rate of 40%, making it worth 40% of the student's score toward course outcome 7, leaving the second assessment, and most recent attempt, worth 60% of their score for course outcome 7. As you assess a student a third time, the first two assessments again decay at a rate of 40%, leaving the most recent attempt worth 60% of the student's overall score toward course outcome 7. Now the first attempt toward proficiency is worth 16%, the second is 24%, and the third, most recent attempt is 60%. This pattern continues for each new attempt or assessment of each course outcome. As we continue to see how additional assessments of a course outcome continue to follow this pattern, we can begin to understand how this model accounts for growth, acknowledging that students learn and improve, so earlier mistakes don't disproportionately drag down their score. It also accounts for increased complexity. As the semester progresses, work often becomes more complex, which makes the course outcome scores toward the end of the term more accurate in describing a student's current level of performance. And finally, it motivates, as students are encouraged to perform well throughout the term. When the grading period is over, the students' scores for each course outcome, which were determined by growth over time average, will then be averaged together for a final grade. For example, here a student in LA10 achieved a 3.26 for course outcome 1, a 4.00 for course outcome 2, a 2.89 for course outcome 3, and so on. Then all course outcome scores are averaged together to produce a score of 3.49. This score maps to an A because a 3.49 falls within the range of 3.2 to 4.0.